doesn't really use the safety fencing. He lands on top of it.
Obviously, part of the car got into it to rip it open, right?
Yes, but he landed. Yeah. Oh my! I have never witnessed an accident like that.
You know, we talked about the number 3 of Elio Castroneves going underneath Scott Dixon's car. Remember, it was Elio a few years ago that ended up going airborne between turns 1 and 2 and walked away from that incident as well. We see how Scott Dixon was thrown around inside the cockpit of the car. All these drivers are so physically fit. He works out here locally as we ride along on board. Ooh.
This is from Castroneves.
He went right under it.
On our screen, so essentially the way the car spun was a carbon copy of Felix Rosenqvist, except the car didn't fully complete that 360 rotation, so he first hits with the front on the top. Oh boy, lucky not to flip the car.
Yeah, it started to go over, but it stayed on the ground, and INDYCAR has done some things to try to keep the cars from getting too far up in the air, and it started on that process, but didn't get too far off and came down on all fours. Let's watch it slowly.
So again, very similar, except again doesn't get the same rotation as Felix Rosenqvist, and I think this angle of attack is definitely worse than the one that Felix Rosenqvist had, and look at how close he is to flipping over. And you see, if we can go back to that slow-mo shot there again and pause it while he's fully up in the air, we can show you what INDYCAR's done from a technological perspective to prevent these things from falling over. But you see, trying to save it here, and that's just a vicious look at how far forward his head goes. Oh boy. And you can just see immediately hands come off the steering wheel when as soon as he knows he's in trouble. And you can see at the front of the tub here, so there's a couple.
Picture we were hoping to paint for the postball, quite frankly, using our radio theater of the mind. But yeah, there's a Havato station in that North Speedway where these cars get backwards, and you see the back car flying into the exit, bunching the back of the car, not the front. Although the front of the object on the wall stayed away, you know, that's another thing. Down the same for Barrett, kind of pulled it away from that catch can, and you see as soon as he hits, the back of the car flies.
They just squeezed him. Sato just came over
on Rossi.
Yeah, he just came down on top of Rossi and then swept everybody out. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
Man.
Up in the fence. So, very hard hit for Rosenqvist. Very, very lucky.
I'm so glad that Rosenqvist stayed out of the fence in terms of the whole car getting up there.
Oh, yeah.
So here we get a good head-on shot. I'm not sure what Sato thought he was clear maybe and tried to get a draft off Dixon.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing in that situation. He just kind of turned down across those guys, and there was a car in the middle. Rossi was in the sandwich.
Oh, we have an onboard
in the middle of it, so we'll get an onboard with Rossi. Look at this. already banging wheels already, so close. But here, watch Sato, and then he just turns on him.
Oh, and Hunter Ray was kind of tight
Rossi
down below.
No steering for Rossi now.
I think everybody was trying to go after the single car toe, the draft from Scott Dixon. You had 3 wide and 1 in front. Hunter Ray on board.
Passing his teammate here, so he's on the inside clear of him. Then watch Sato he tries to shoot that gap, and it was not there.
Not on at all.
I would say at this point, Ryan Hunter-Reay saying, I might be done with Pocono. 2 really scary crashes in 2 years.
Sato collected just about everybody, and it sends Rosenqvist up. So similar to Wickens last year. He's so lucky that didn't get into the fence. And it ripped the front of the nose right off the car.
Conway's now come out of the pit lane. He's actually slow on the track. It looks like he's having problems with the car, Eddie. It's just loose on him. And you know something? Will Power's coming from behind. He is just going to end up taken out.
He had nowhere to go. Will Power had absolutely nowhere to go. And look how the car turns into. That's the worst angle that a car can take.
Well, just remember a few years ago, the exact spot where Conway had his crash a couple of years ago when he rode up and over Ryan Hunter-Reay. So the car hit the wall, comes out, and then you see the Verizon machine of Will Power just slice underneath it a little bit. And for Conway, he's riding up on the top of the wall, Eddie, and luckily the car comes back down, as we call it, on all 4, obviously wheels missing, but a ride that Mike Conway certainly does not want to take, and probably relived a little bit of what happened to him 2 years ago.
And we want to remind everybody watching this horrific accident that turned out with no drivers getting hurt, that these are brand new cars that have been engineered to make sure they are much safer in impacts like this, and it did everything it was expected to do.
They just start bouncing off of each other here. Hunter-Reay was going for a gap. It closed, and he came down into Brian, and the grass just caught the car and just flipped it violently.
Goodness me. And very shortly thereafter, Ryan Briscoe gives the double thumbs up. Watch this, just a gap that closed again. It's Karam coming down, Hunter-Reay in the middle, and Ryan Briscoe, just the innocent bystander there down on the inside, and that nose just dove in like a dart into the grass.
Absolutely.
And flipped Briscoe. So again, similar to the Power and Sato incident, a lucky escape for both the Ryans, Hunter-Reay and Briscoe.
Oh, that was just intense, very violent crash. And it just goes to show you how safe these cars are.
And there's the marbles on the outside there. Sato gets loose.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. That is a horrifying ride for Dario Franchitti.
Oh, man. That is an oval crash we've seen before, and we hate to see that kind of impact.
Sato,
oh, boy. Look at the debris go through. Oh, boy. And fencing. Yeah, it does look like there might be some debris into the grandstands as well. That is a violent impact.
Fortunately, the fence kept the car in the racetrack.
This is Graham Rahal arriving on the scene.
Full course yellow, full course yellow. Did you get through there?
So Sato gets loose, and Dario's got nowhere to go. That is a thundering blow.
Yeah.